Will we get those notices?
Good morning, everyone. We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance this morning. Pledge of Allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Did everybody have a chance to review the meeting minutes from last month's meeting? Any changes or corrections? I look for a motion to...
Second.
Matt made a motion. Tony seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We also have the joint meeting minutes in the packet. Were there any changes or corrections? If not, I look for a motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Tom made a motion, second by Mike Sprinkle. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The wage committee was comprised of myself, Tony Dungeon, Darren Holder, Tom Schaefer, and then Jen set in as well. We had meetings with department heads and elected officials on March 20th and 21st to hear input, gather information. We appreciate all of the effort and time that everyone put into this. Very helpful for us to sit down with individual departments to figure out what it is they're doing, what they're looking for, expenses in the future, and to tell us a little bit, just gather more information. After we've done this and we've looked at cost of living increase put out by Social Security, which was 2.5%, we've looked at our uncertain budget for next year as well. With SB 1, we're still really up in the air as far as what exactly is going to happen. We know that some of our funds are not going to be there that we had expected originally. So with taking all of that into account, the wage committee is recommending a 3% wage increase for full-time employees. We are very, very happy with performance. We wish we could do more, but again, there's so much uncertainty out there. We want to try to do what we can do at this point. Have any?
Well said. Need to do all we can do for our employees, but there are limits, so.
I think one thing we should note is the compensation above the 3%. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
We have, there are certain departments in which there's going to be a little bit extra added to wages on top of the 3%. We try to take certain departments each year and evaluate them, and we have that. We're going to take each department over a period of time, but we can only do so many at a time. So we are getting a little extra for court reporters and in the prosecutor's office as well. In the IT department, we're also looking at their stipends as well for the clerk's office and the auditor's office. And we are budgeting for if anyone is retiring and we know that there's a payout coming, we're budgeting for that as well.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you for the team members. That was the first time I wasn't on that. I know how much time goes into that. You guys were very thorough, and I appreciate all the time that goes into that. And with that, I make a motion to approve.
Matt made a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Mike Myers. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, Bobby Abel is here with Uplands Regional Bank. Good morning, Bobby.
I am here this morning to give you an update on the progress of the land bank over the past year. As some know, some don't, we try to acquire vacant, abandoned, and deteriorated houses. The goal is to get them back to productive use, back on the tax rolls, create affordable housing in the areas. We do cover a 6-county region. The first property that the land bank purchased was here in Daviess County. That particular property has a contract that will be signed hopefully by the end of the month. It will be rehabilitated and offered to a couple at an affordable cost to that couple. We are looking into a second property. We hope actually to close on it by the end of the month in Daviess County, and it will have some environmental issues that will have to be addressed. So hopefully, start to finish, it'll take about a year before that property can be returned to productive use. And I am currently looking into a third property and trying to locate heirs to that property. It is a vacant property that is severely deteriorated, and it's a matter of trying to find all of the heirs involved. The land bank itself has purchased 2 properties in Greene County, 1 in Lawrence, and 1 in, my mind just went blank. 2 in Greene, 1 in Daviess, 1 in Lawrence. So we have those properties that we've purchased. We did attend all of the tax sales for the 6 counties, and we're able to acquire 5 tax liens and hopefully get those returned to active tax rolls in the near future. We have the website that's now up and running where you can look at properties that are for sale through the land bank. You can report a property that you want us to take a look at. You can, if you have a property that's for sale, you can notify us that you're interested in working with the land bank and selling that property to us. And that is at www.urlandbank.com. You have time to take a look. It is a work in progress, but we're moving along with it. I'd like to ask if the county knows of any properties that the land bank can look into to please let me know. We are working on several donations throughout the counties. Just like to thank you for your partnership with the land bank.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Does anybody have any questions for Bobby? We appreciate the update. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have up Laura Petty is next. Opioid settlement proposal. Good morning.
Good morning.
So yesterday, the commissioners approved a proposal that I submitted for the unrestricted funds on behalf of DCS. And it is just to revamp that room that they used for visitation. I attached pictures to that of what they currently have. It's old hand-me-down stuff from years ago from the courthouse and different agencies. And that room is just pretty cold and not temperature-wise. It's just a very non-inviting environment. So I saw a need and put that proposal in, and Pam Padgett was here yesterday for DCS, and we were kind of rushed yesterday just because of the jury trial coming up, so she didn't really get to speak, but there was really no questions about it. So, you have any questions about the room or pictures or anything?
Yeah, I have one. Is that a separate fund number, or is that just thrown in general?
It's separate.
What number is it?
1238. And I supplied that information.
I have
So-
that.
okay.
Yeah, you emailed me.
Yes, of what the balance was,
The
and
balance
there's
was.
plenty in there to
Yeah.
cover
Okay.
that. Yes,
Any other-
and to cover Shelby's thing that she's getting ready to talk about also.
Any questions for Laura? We would look for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Mike Sprinkle. Second by Tom. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Shelby?
Good morning.
Morning.
I think I've met most of you at the wage meeting, but if not, I'm Shelby Stanley, and I'm the Chief Probation Officer.
I presented a proposal yesterday in front of the commissioners for a probationer kiosk check-in, and it was approved by the commissioners. We will be using the unrestricted opioid funding to purchase the iPad and the stand, and then also for the program to run that as well. Does anybody have any questions on
How
what
much-
it actually is?
Well, how much was the program itself?
The program was $630 a year, and there is no there's a year contract, but the unrestricted funds would cover 10 years plus the device.
Well, my question is, I mean, the initial cost seems very high
Yeah.
on that, the 2130. Like, we do kiosks and stuff all the time, you know, iPads and things, way really high. Have you talked with IT or anyone about, you know, maybe doing that, you know, getting that set up yourself, and then, you know, because it's just an app on there, correct?
It is.
So, I mean, you could save a lot of money on that.
This is actually the cheaper one that we've found. This is the same one that Superior Court uses. Other counties, when they use kiosk, it's $30,000 to $60,000.
No, I'm not talking about the app, I'm talking about the hardware.
Oh, the iPad.
Yeah, because I mean, that's
So-
like $400, the stand's $100.
Yeah.
And now it's 2130, so,
We could, so the device itself is anywhere between 1,200 to 1,400. The reason that I would go with the device, purchasing it through the reception itself, is if there's any damages, then they could replace it.
they cover it with that, okay.
Versus if we were to buy a refurbished one off of Amazon, then if something goes down with the iPad, we'd eat the cost of it.
Well, I mean, if you get Apple Care or something, they take care of that anyway. So, I mean, like I said, we do this all the time, it's way cheaper than this, so. I'm just trying to save some money, you know, for everyone. So, I would look into that a little bit to save some money, in my opinion.
Is this strictly in English, or is this
We
user?
could set it up however we want it to.
Is this the same one Dan uses?
Yes.
Okay. And he built his own, right? He kind of did it that way? Yeah.
And we would use it for probationer check-in for their appointments, but then we would also utilize it as more of a day reporting for our low-risk offenders. That way they're not having to come in and meet in person because we have such high caseload numbers. So it'll kind of eliminate the in-person and congestion on our day-to-day schedules, but it will relay all the information to us directly.
I think the program is awesome. I'm not arguing that at all. I'm just trying to, because if you can save a few dollars here, then we can spend that other money on something else, right? So, I mean, is this something can we reevaluate some of those hardware costs and come back, or is this something you have to do today?
We would like to have it put in place by July when we move back over to the courthouse, because how the probation office is set up, we have a window and a security door, and that kiosk would sit right outside the window so that they would check in right there. We could look at other options. I'd have to get back with Laura on, because I think she had the proposal for that dollar amount.
Yeah, could you work with IT on getting, because that is way out of line with price. I mean, if you get the big iPad, that's like $1,000, you have $1,200 in it. You know what I mean? That's double the price. Absolutely, you can. We do it all the time.
He bought his
Yeah.
from Amazon.
Working with Daviess.
Well, no, I agree, and I'll make a proposal, I mean, I'll make it so that I'll make a motion to approve it based upon looking at cutting those numbers, because if we can use that funding for something else, there's always things that we need money for, and if we can get this as cheap as possible. I mean, I think it's a great program that's gonna do great things, but those companies take advantage of that as well, you know what I mean? So I think I'll make a motion based upon us looking into, hardware options.
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So the $630 a year times 10 years, you got to pay that up front?
No,
No?
No.
Why is the request for $7,800 then?
it was for a 10-year. It was through the unrestricted opioid funds, and the proposal was to fund it for 10 years. And then probation would take it over after that.
Right. Well, the numbers really don't actually add up if you're doing it that way. I mean, if you take 10 years times $630
That was with the device.
and the 2130 on top of that?
The 21, that was with the device, depending on if it was 1,200 to 1,500. Yeah.
So you're 9 years and then
Okay,
one built-in difference.
all right, got it.
Because they don't do a 10-year contract.
Well,
it's
I
just
didn't,
year-to-year basis.
that didn't seem very smart anyhow to put it out there
That's
that, for
okay.
that length of time. I just was making sure I understood the numbers, thank you.
We have a motion on the floor by, excuse me, Matt. Do we have a second to Matt? Tom has a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
We also have a county innkeeper's tax return form update. This is really just for gathering information. They wanting to add 3 lines that talks about the occupancy percentage rates, the number of rooms that are available, that sort of thing. It's really just information to help track things. So that has been, or that's the request to have that added, and commissioners talked about it yesterday. Have any questions or issues with updating that at all? And there was some discussion between commissioners and the commission, so we may just want to kind of table this today so that we can figure out exactly what everybody wants on the form.
And send that out to everybody here,
Yeah.
so we'll,
When we redid the Visitors Commission ordinance, I mean, it was essentially a brand-new ordinance at that point. But I don't see anywhere where we clarified that it was a monthly collection. That's just been in practice for a long time. So I'm just suggesting that we put that into the, that's all.
As far as other lines on there, like I said, initially there were 3 proposed about occupancy and the number of rooms available, and it's just for tracking purposes. But we can table this today if everyone's okay with that, to have conversations with all entities involved to make sure everybody's got everything they want on it to be the final version.
I'll make a motion to table.
Okay, Matt made a motion.
Second.
Second by Mike Myers. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We have a salary ordinance amendment as well. This was on longevity pay, and it's $1,000. We just need to approve that. That was something that just failed to get put into the budget because it was a transfer from another county, and that county's counts towards this longevity.
so moved.
Tony made a motion.
Second.
Second by Tom. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We have an additional appropriation for the insurance, and this is based on some new equipment that was purchased. It was added in March, so we have the request for $50,000. Looking for a motion to approve?
So moved.
Made a motion,
Second.
second by Matt. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We also have a request for expert fees in the Superior Court. These were for mental health evaluations. Every person who needs one has to have a minimum of 2 evaluations, and they range from $3,000 to $5,000. they have expended a lot of that already, it's my understanding, correct, Jen? And they're looking, they know they have some more coming up, so they're looking to replenish that fund with a $20,000 appropriation. Anyone have any questions? If not, I look for a motion.
So moved.
Tony made the motion,
Second.
second by Matt. All in favor?
Aye.
Any
What
opposed?
defines an expert in that field?
Probably not you.
We have to take.
You have information in your packet as well, the minutes and the report from the Tourism Commission. You have a museum information, West Boggs, the DCH Finance. Anyone on the council have any questions? Are there any questions from the, oh,
I got one. In reading the West Boggs minutes, who is their insurance carrier? Do you know? For West Boggs? Property. Anyway, their minutes talk about how they're arguing with the insurance company about a property claim. I just wondered who their carrier was. It's like, in reading their notes, it looks like it's been an ongoing issue. Somebody ought to intervene and push it across the finish line. Anyway, yeah, let us know who that is, please.
anything from the audience this morning? Not, I look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Matt. Do we have a second? Tom has a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion is adjourned. Meeting is adjourned.